Welcome again to Zimbabwe Digital News and Zondex TV News Bulletin. I am Perfect Moyo.
And I am Jane Chikanya. Here are the news headlines. SADC leaders have thrown their weight in support of President Mnangagwa.
At least 38 miners are feared dead in Zimbabwe this week after they were trapped in 2 flooded mines in Betufield, central Zimbabwe.
Find out why Chengetai Manyange thinks that Vice President Chiwenga is more than just a hero.
Kaselaga appoints Tinashe Nengomasha as the football ambassador alongside Samuel Eto'o and other football legends.
Veteran comedian and convicted rapist Bill Cosby compares himself to Martin Luther, Nelson Mandela and Mahatma Gandhi.
At least 38 miners in Zimbabwe are feared to have died after the flooding of 2 underground mines in central Zimbabwe this week. The flooding, caused by heavy rains, led to the collapse of a dam wall at around 11 p.m. on Tuesday, leaving 34 miners trapped underground at Silver Moon Mine and another 4 at the Cricket Mine. Police spokesperson Inspector Clemens Mabwe Azara told our reporters that civil protection teams have been tasked with draining water from the mines, adding that the water level in the 2 mines are still on the rise, further perpetuating fears of underground drownings.
U.S. President Donald Trump's administration released a statement through State Department spokesperson Robert Palladino in which he said, and I quote, "The dialogue process must be credible, inclusive and mediated by a neutral third party. In order for such a dialogue to succeed, the government of Zimbabwe should immediately release the civil society activists which have been detained and hold security force members responsible for human rights violations and abuses accountable," says Palladino. Namibia, Botswana, South Africa, virtually all of the SADC threw their weight behind the government of Zimbabwe, saying that part of the bigger problems facing the country today were as a result of the continued sanctions that were placed on Zimbabwe by the West, including the US and its fellow allies. Here is Zimbabwe Digital News Editor Kenneth Chikanga.
Government says that it will remove the soldiers from the streets if it is satisfied that civil society has calmed down. The people, on the other hand, are saying that they cannot calm down as long as there are continuing economic problems in Zimbabwe with shortages of cash, fuel, basic foods, medicines, and so on. But on top of all that is that word sanctions. Government is saying that we want to solve all those things about shortages, but as long as sanctions remain, it's a huge mountain to climb.
The finer the bait, the shorter the wait. Babington Marawanyika, our resident fishing expert, who caught a giant barbel at Borakalalo Game Reserve. Marawanyika was spraying ice cream to his bait and was using everything from maize meal, masese, sadza, chibage, worms and fish paste to catch fish. And the result is that he caught his biggest ever barbel this week, which weighs 17 kilograms.
Our columnist Chengetai Manyange is fast becoming one of the most controversial writers in the Zimbabwe Digital News Friday e-paper. Many people say many things about Zimbabwe's Deputy President, Constantino Chiwenga. In fact, when news reports surfaced last week that Vice President Chiwenga had been admitted to a Cape Town hospital for treatment, Zimbabweans in Cape Town were protesting and saying that this was the man who had fired doctors and nurses in Zimbabwe, and now he was running away from a health system that he had destroyed. Chengetai Manyange does not believe any of that. In fact, he wrote in his column in the Friday e-paper that Vice President Chiwenga is his hero and was the only man who stood up and single-handedly removed former President Robert Mugabe from power at a time when everyone thought that it was impossible. Here is Chengetai Manyange.
This is C. Manyange, the writer of the article which read, "Thank you, General Chiwenga, for saving us from Mugabe and his cabal. It's now up to them to do the right thing and put Zimbabwe back on track. People of Africa and the world, keep reading, keep following Zimbabwe Digital News Online. I thank you."
This week we report that artist Skobokobo Madlela will be performing at the Hillbroad Theatre in Johannesburg on April 27 after about 2 years of absence from the performance stage. This will be Skobokobo's first time to perform with a live band, and he will be on stage with the likes of Mahloka Zulu, Rumba outfit dubious masters, as well as some upcoming performers. Here is Southern Express editor Mxolisi Ncube to tell us what Kobo Kobo told the newspaper this week.
Hi, my name is Mxolisi Ncube, otherwise known as the Outlaw. This week we published in the Southern Express the article of award-winning Zimbabwean artist Madhela's Kobo Kobo Power, who is set to perform in his first South African show in 2 years at the Hillbrow Theatre in Johannesburg on April 27. Madhela told Southern Express that his dream has been supported by thousands of Injiva who are South Africa-based Zimbabweans.
He is a registered entity that is helping young entrepreneurs to start, restructure and sustain their businesses. After struggling to break the grounds as a business person, Mnyaradzi Dongo faced challenges that could have stopped him in his tracks. Fortunately, he had the guts to stand against all odds. Now he is one of the most influential young person in South Africa. Here is Mnyaradzi Dongo.
Hello everybody, my name is Mnyaradzi Dongo, popularly known as Mr M Dongo. I am one of the top young inspirational and motivational speakers in South Africa, who is traveling all over South Africa and all over SADC countries, training people on entrepreneurship, as I'm one of the certified entrepreneurship trainer. I also help other small businesses in publishing them, coaching them, and doing some mentorship. Thank you so much.
This week we are reporting that in his first public statement from prison, former actor, comedian and celebrity Bill Cosby said he will never have remorse for his crimes and called himself a political prisoner. Cosby told newspapers that my political beliefs, my actions of trying to humanize all races, genders and religions landed me in this place surrounded by barbed wire fencing, a room made of steel and iron. The comedian said in a statement released through his press spokesperson, Andrew White. Cosby, who is 81, also noted that his cell at SCI Phoenix, the prison outside Philadelphia, where he is serving his sentence, resembles the quarters of some of the greatest political prisoners, like Martin Luther King Jr., Mahatma Gandhi, and Nelson Mandela.
We now cross over to our sports desk.
Welcome to another great sporting weekend brought to you by Zondex TV and Zimbabwe Digital News. Today, we are going to look at the world's most beautiful game, soccer. In soccer headlines, there was news that former Zimbabwean international Tinashe Nengomasha has been appointed football ambassador by Castle Lager. Father, as he was popularly known during his playing days, will join a host of legends which are being spearheaded by Samuel Eto'o. And the other legends who are there include Matthew Booth from South Africa, include the Katongo from Zambia, it includes Caesar Dlamini from Swaziland, it also includes Amanda Dlamini, who was the captain for the Banyana Banyana of South Africa, as the lady soccer is also involved in this Castle Lager program which is taking place in Africa. Also, let's look at the soccer that took place during the week. We spoke about the Soweto Derby last week and it lived up to its billing. The two Soweto Giants played to a 1-0 draw. And it will be injustice if we do not mention the performance of one Zimbabwean player in particular, teenager Debe, who managed to showcase his talent, who managed to hold his own against the marauding Orlando Pirates trio of Loche, Shonga, and Pule. The match ended in a draw, and people were treated to some great footballing skills of South African Soweto Derby. Also in South Africa, Zimbabwean player Kingston Carter has crossed back again to South Africa. After spending last season playing for Dynamos in Zimbabwe, he has crossed back to South Africa, has now signed for Mbombela FC in the National First Division. We know Kingston Carter played for SuperSport, played for Kaizer Chiefs, but now playing straight in National First Division. All the best to him in his trade. Also, let's look at the Premier League. This week, there's no Premier League matches taking place because there's the weekend of the FA Cup matches. And the match to look forward to, Chelsea versus Manchester United, Monday Night Football. Who is going to win it? Both teams suffered setbacks during the week. Chelsea were beaten 6-0 by Manchester City in the Premier League last week. Manchester United lost 2-0 to Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League during the week. This was the first defeat of Manchester United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. How are they going to react to it? We'll find out during the match. Chelsea need also to bounce back from the 6-0 drubbing of Manchester City. In South Africa, It's the weekend again for the Nedbank Cup. We already know that Cape Umoya has gone through. We already know that Cape Town City has gone through after beating Highlands Park 3-0 in a match played at Cape Town Stadium. Let's look at the Champions League. Champions League continues again this coming week. The match to look forward to, Liverpool hosting Bayern Munich. Who's going to win it? It's going to be a thriller for sure. Let's wait and find out. Other teams are also playing. Manchester City, Barcelona, they're also playing this coming weekend in the Champions League. So watch out for the Champions League during the week. All said and done. Here's to wishing you a great sporting weekend. And at Zondex TV and Zimbabwe Digital News, we say, remember to take good care of each other. And remember the otherness of other people. This is PG signing out.